Hi everyone, Abby here. Welcome back to my channel for Tech Tuesday, or welcome if you're new. Now today, I'm going to be reviewing the new Fitbit Charge 6. But before I get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed so you can stay tuned to all my new videos dropping weekly, and so you can help the channel grow. And I've already done a full unboxing on the smartwatch. If you are interested in seeing that, you can find that video at the top right and also linked in the description below. I do have the smartwatch in the color Coral Champagne Gold, but it did come out in some other colors as well, which you could see on screen. And the current price as of recording for this smartwatch is $219.99 Canadian and $159.99 American. And I've gone ahead and left timestamps for all of the key points I am talking about in the description below, as well as down here in chapters in the video if you want to skip to anything like battery life, for example. First thing I'm going to do is go into the spec highlights about this smartwatch so you can get an idea of what it can do. So the Fitbit Charge 6 here has an AMOLED color display, optional always on display, a battery life up to 7 days. It does have touchscreen operation with one button. It can track a variety of your daily metrics such as your steps, your heart rate, your calories burned, your distance walked, tracks your SpO2, your VO2 max. You can get your basic watch features like timer, stopwatch, and alarms. And we do have smart wake alarms, which is a Fitbit feature. It's basically supposed to wake you up at the least destructive time in your sleep cycle. It also has Google Maps, which basically connects to your phone. So if you are turning on Google Maps on your phone, you can still see all the navigation and instructions on your wrist on your smartwatch. It also has YouTube Music, which is basically a remote for your phone, so it's going to control YouTube Music on your phone. You can also track 40 different activities and workouts like running, cycling, Pilates, and more. It does have built-in GPS as well, which is great for those outdoor activities. It has sleep tracking. It's water resistant up to 5 ATM or 50 meters, so you can take it in the rain, in the snow, in the pool, all of that stuff. You also have women's health monitoring. You can also view smartphone notifications, answer and deny phone calls, and more. And if you're finding this video helpful so far, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. All right, guys, so this is what it looks like on me. And I do have a 7-inch wrist. Now, the Fitbit Charge 6 here can fit a variety of wrist sizes, and it does come with a small and a large band. I am wearing the large band right now, and I'm wearing it, pretty loosely. And I've gone ahead and put all the wrist sizes this can fit on screen for you. Now, I do find this smartwatch very comfortable to wear. I've had no skin irritation issues whatsoever, and it is nice and lightweight. So I do think this is a pretty nice looking smartwatch or fitness tracker. I don't really know what to call it because it's kind of in the middle here, but I do think it looks nice. And it's definitely a very true orange color. I definitely think it's a fun color, but I feel like all the color options for the Charge 6 are very unisex. I would have loved to see some like pink or purple, something like that. Basically, you kind of just slide it in and it tucks in down here. And to change the band, you just pull down on this little thing. I don't know what you call this. And then you pull the band out. And then to put it back in, push it in until you hear a click. If you don't hear a click, it is not in place, guys. And here is the small band in comparison. So the smartwatch does have an AMOLED color display. So with that, you can see bright, bold, punchy colors. And one thing about the AMOLED display here is it is quite reflective. So you guys can see that, there's a bit of reflection here. And I do have the brightness on dim right now. And this is what it looks like outdoors in natural lighting in the sun. So once again, definitely quite reflective with that AMOLED display here, but once you have the brightness high enough, it definitely is readable. And another thing is, we do have an optional always on display, so if you want to have your display stay on all the time, you can do that. Just keep in mind your battery life is going to decrease significantly. It's going to time out on you and basically get quite dim, and it does become a more basic looking watch face. As you can see right now, very, very dim, kind of hard to read unless you click on it, and then it's going to get brighter. Another thing about the display, we have a water lock function. So if you are going in the shower, also if you're going in like the pool or something, turn on the water lock so your display won't freak out and kind of move on its own when the water is hitting it. So the smartwatch does have a battery life up to 7 days. And with my usage, things like GPS walks, runs, daily alarms, timers, and more, I have gotten on average 5 days of battery life with this watch. Now for me, that's definitely good. I only have to charge it once a week, so I think this could fit into a lot of people's lifestyles. If I do turn on the always on display, my battery life did drop down to about 2.5 to 3 days. So I prefer to just turn it off because I'm saving battery life. And I will say that these are the results I've gotten for battery life, but we all use our smartwatches differently, so you may end up getting something higher or lower than I do. All right, guys, so now I'm going to talk to you about women's health. For my males out there, or anyone else who doesn't want to see this, you can go ahead and use my timestamps down below and skip to the next section where I'm going to be talking about sleep tracking. All right, so when it comes to women's health, it's very minimal information. 3 days to go until my next menstrual cycle. And that's basically all the information you could see on here. You can't track anything on here. So that's not super helpful in my opinion, but it's there if you want it. So this is what women's health looks like in the app. If you are on your period, you can track your flow intensity. So there's different options here. We also have our daily symptoms. We have our mood. Love seeing a variety of options here, and I love the little emojis, they're cute. You can record, your sex information, as well as if you are taking any ovulation tests. You can also record any discharge that you're experiencing, and if you did use the morning after pill. We do also have a period prediction, these little kind of pink lines predicting when your period is coming up next. Now, in my experience, Fitbit has been pretty good when it comes to the period prediction. I'd say like 90% of the time it's accurate. When it comes to sleep tracking on this smartwatch, sleep tracking I think is Fitbit's highest point, like their biggest strength. I do find it very accurate. There's lots of times where I might get up to go to the bathroom or get a drink and go back to sleep, or sometimes I'm just sitting in bed texting and it realizes that I'm awake. And some other smartwatches just aren't great at doing that. And here is my sleep from last night. You can see the amount of hours I actually slept, my sleep score. And if you have it turned on, you can see your SpO2 that was recorded during your sleep. Now that's all the data you could see on the smartwatch here. If you do want to see more, you do have to go into the app once again. On the app here, you could see basically that same information. So you could see my sleep. Once I click into here, we can see your last week of sleep. Go down and click on today's sleep. You can see your sleep score, your sleep time, your sleep stages. Click that, you could see kind of a really big breakdown. You could see the sleep stages kind of broken down, and you could see a 30-day average, and you could see a benchmark for other people within your age range and your gender. And you could see your blood oxygen saturation if you do have that turned on. And you could see the time that I fell asleep and the time that I woke up, and all of these other things you're not gonna see unless you get Fitbit Premium. If you do wanna see what those look like, you can watch my Fitbit Premium versus Fitbit regular review to see the differences there. All right, guys, so now I'm gonna go into the basics of how to use this smartwatch. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is turn on the display. So you can do that by, pressing the button on the side here or tapping the display. Or if you have gestures turned on, you can go ahead and turn it towards your face when it's on your wrist and the screen will light up. Once the display is on, you can choose to swipe down, and here you're gonna see all of your settings. So to go back, you can go ahead and swipe to the right, or you can click the button here once again. And if you do click that button, it can turn off the display for you as well. If I swipe up from this menu, I can see the date, my steps, my distance walked, a quick kind of activity snapshot here, calories, all that stuff. So you can see your resting heart rate and your current heart rate, but it's not on my wrist right now. You can see your sleep. You can see SpO2 data. I have also my women's health on here. You can see your current activities. Once again, I can click the button right over here to go back. So at this page right here, you can go ahead and swipe left or right to see all of the different kind of apps on here. And you can also see your notifications. Here are the workouts. You can go ahead and set an alarm, a timer, ETA scan if you do want to do that. We also have ECG. There's Google Maps and YouTube Music. And that's basically how you use a smartwatch, guys. I do think that this is a pretty user-friendly smartwatch. If you're getting this for someone who's new to smartwatches, or if you're new to smartwatches yourself, I do find it pretty easy to use. So now I'm gonna show you guys some watch faces. So the watch faces, you can actually change them on here. You do have to use the app once again. Going into the app here, and then you go into clocks, and you can choose from any of these watch faces. Now I will say there is not that many, and you are not able to add on any more. So what you see is what you get here. So when it comes to this smartwatch, you can track a variety of workouts and activities. You can track up to 40. I'm just gonna start off by showing you guys all of the activities it can track because a lot of you ask me what can these smartwatches track. So these are kind of the two that I've used the most, but I'm gonna show you guys all of them. And I really like that here we have pictures and a full kind of wording explanation. And some of the trackers, you really just see a photo and you're like, what is that? So I like that they went the extra bit here. And I do like that it's in alphabetical order. It makes it a lot easier to find activities. And that is it. Now, when it comes to doing a workout, like a walk, for example, when I go for a walk, I think that the steps are tracked really accurately. The GPS performance has been great in my experience, and that's something I'm happy about because with the Charge 5, I did have sometimes GPS connection issues where the GPS would sometimes like drop off, and I find that the pace is a lot more accurate on this smartwatch as well as the steps. Once again, when I do connect the GPS, it does connect pretty quick, within less than a minute usually. You guys can see it just connected and I'm indoors, so I'm happy with this improvements in the GPS data and activity compared to the previous version. I did take 100 steps this morning just to count it out, and the smartwatch was at 98 when I was at 100, so I find that pretty good, almost spot on. It's now compatible with some treadmills and ellipticals and bike machines and your workout machines. So many of you guys ask me, hey, is this gonna connect to my bike machine at the gym? And the answer for this is yes, maybe. It really depends on the exact model and brand of the machine. I've put on screen for you a list of some compatible ones I have found from Fitbit. Alright guys, so I have noticed some cons about the Fitbit Charge here. First con for me is the brightness. Now, Fitbit does not let you really adjust the brightness all that much. We have three options. We have dim, normal, and like bright. So the dim is really not dim enough for me. It's at dim right now and it's still pretty bright. So this gives me a problem at nighttime because if I'm trying to look at my smartwatch quickly just to see the time or whatever, it's just like really a bright light. I don't want to see that if I'm trying to go to bed and just check my watch for a second. So I wish that we did have like an extra dim option. Another con for me is that with Fitbit, you basically need your phone for everything. I'm talking if you want to do the ECG, if you want to do the EDA scan, if you want to see your sleep data, if you want to see the women's health, like all of this stuff you really need your phone for and the app. I would have just preferred if this was smart enough that it can do that stuff without relying on your phone, because it's just an extra step for me to be able to see my data, where some other, smartwatches like Garmin, for example, I can just wake up and have all of my sleep data there. I don't even have to look at my phone. So that's something I would really like to see from Fitbit in the future. Another con for me is that bezel material they're using. I think it's aluminum. It's not super durable. I've had this thing for about 3 weeks now, and there's already some scratches on the bezel here. I don't know if you guys can see. There's a couple of scratches. I'm not happy that after not even a month, it's just already showing scratches and damage, so it's not the most durable material out there. And all right, guys, considering the price, the quality, the color, the performance, the battery life, the comfort, and everything like that, I would go ahead and give this an 8.1 out of 10. I definitely do give it a thumbs up. So if you guys are looking to pick up the new Fitbit Charge 6 here, I've gone ahead and left a link down in the description for you to use. And if you guys are interested in learning more about the previous model, the Fitbit Charge 5, I've already tested and reviewed that smartwatch, and you can find that video linked in the description below if you want to check that one out. And if there's anything I missed today that you want to know, just go ahead and drop a comment below. I do read all the comments and I'll definitely get back to you. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.